can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
And here we go. It's Friday, September 13th. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. We are in the PuckSports studios built by Back Lumber. Contractors that got free deliveries for everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY
what are you
packages.
laughing about?
I'm laughing at you. Just look at you have this dumbfounded expression on your face, like what's going on?
Well, because you gave me shit already. I didn't appreciate it.
Well, because you were late almost.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't late. What time is it right now?
It's 10 o'clock, but what did I said, can you jump on before we hit it at 55? And there was no response for 15 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Do you think maybe you could have just said, hey, I'm running a little late?
Well, but I wasn't late.
But could you just say, hey, I'll be
because
there, but I'm just running late?
My wife has COVID, and I was trying to be a good husband.
COVID is not a thing
radio
anymore.
Host. What?
COVID is not real anymore.
What do you mean COVID's not real anymore?
She's got COVID.
I mean, you can get it, but you're not likely to die from it anymore.
Yeah. She's probably just sick, Jim. She's got a cold.
I took a COVID test yesterday just to make sure that I was negative because, I got to go to that granddaughter's birthday party tomorrow instead of going to the Cougar game.
Which you are fired up for.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I interrupted your, it's deck season.
It's surprising that you would interrupt, which is,
Well, is it deck season still?
It's not deck season anymore because we're transitioning into fall. Fence, we're getting a new fence in our backyard. Limback Lumber, largest stock moldings as well in the Northwest. They got an old school service. They owned by the Hunsinger family. You love the Hunsinger family. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call at Limback Lumber, 206-782-3487. At one point, Hugh Millen used to work at Limback Lumber.
Yeah.
You can visit them at limbacklumber.com. You can also, if you're watching, well, of course you're watching, but if you're listening later, the QR code, you can just take a picture of that and it'll take you right to Limback Lumber. How are you here on this Friday, Football Friday? We got a jam-packed show. We got our handicapper, Troy Wins. He's back. He's coming up around 10:40 or so. And we've got a brand new Puck the Picker NFL pick'em pool that we're going to announce. And we got a grand prize that I'm going to tell you is going to top any grand prize that our old radio station gave away. I'll tell you that. It's better. 100 times better.
It's that good? Because Troy the last time had an all expenses paid trip to Las Vegas, stayed at a nice hotel and that sports book and everything. It's better than that.
Well, I'm saying it's better than what our station is giving away.
Oh, okay. This year.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably not giving away anything.
No, I'm giving away some cash, but hey.
Yeah.
Not like
we're
giving away an experience.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing the Emerald Queen thing, I think.
So we got Troy Wins. We've got, and then so you'll be around for that. Then Chris Egan will join me coming up around 11 o'clock, and then we'll wrap up a Friday extravaganza. We got lots to cover. We've got you and I. We haven't spoken even off the air since we're back. The Pac-12's back. Oh, I guess we did chat a little bit. You asked me because you're not fired up for it. You're like, should I be excited about this? I'm not really excited.
No, it's true. No, I'm not alone on that, Puck. Explain to me why I should be all that excited about it.
Because they've got some certainty in 2 years. Why wouldn't you? Would you rather have what they have agreed to yesterday, or nothing in 2026 and no home and you're playing no one?
Yeah, I know. I'm still. It's going to take a period of time for me to transition from, hey, USC's coming to town to, hey, San Jose State's going to be here on a Friday night.
Well, but they're not playing San Jose State.
Can you allow me a little transition time?
But they're not playing San Jose State.
Well, they are this next Friday.
Well, but I'm talking about in 2 years.
No, I know. Okay, I'm just
talking about in 2026. Not, hey, Jim, did you know that they just reached an agreement yesterday with the Mountain West? They're expanding in 2 years. Did you not see?
I know. Is it okay? Is it okay to have a differing opinion without being chastised for it?
No, it's not.
I'm not the only one that's going, oh yeah, okay. Who do we have now? We got. I like San Diego State. Who are the other ones again? Boise State. I like that. Go ahead. Help me out here a little bit.
So do you even know what's going on?
No, I do know what's going on. I do know what's going on. San Diego State. Colorado State.
Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
hey, also, real quick, the Mariners lost yesterday, if you didn't know.
I saw that. Did Polanco try hard enough for that ground ball?
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. Is that not an error, or am I crazy? Or no, because he was sliding, that's a tough play? Well,
I think if an infielder goes to the ground to try and get a ball, you can't really.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, but a second baseman needs to make that play. It just does.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Come on.
Yeah,
God,
I think you're right.
Well,
the Jorge Polanco era is only going to last 1 year. I mean, we've got 15 more games of it.
My wife can't stand him because she's like, I can't watch him anymore because he doesn't blink. And then now I'm so fixated every time I see him now. That's all I watch, and he doesn't blink. It's just like this.
No, I've noticed that since day one. I've never seen anyone with his eyes so wide open. He looks like he's scared shitless all the time.
It's the oddest thing in the world. It's so weird. Yeah. Okay. So I want to go back to the expand. You're not fired up for it, and that's okay.
I'm trying. Okay, just allow me some time to take it all in.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, because I know it's the best case scenario for where we are.
Okay.
All right. Now, and if we get Cal and Stanford somehow, and then, I know the caveat or the asterisk is like, well, we're not going to get Cal and Stanford because they can't get out of the ACC. But if that implodes and Cal and Stanford joins it and we have a Pac-8 with Cal and Stanford, sign me up for that. I'd be fired up for that.
So you're on board if the Bay Area schools come back, which is going to be a long shot. And to your point, they're going to need implosion in the ACC, but that's going to come though. Florida State and Clemson are going to get out of it, and there's news on Florida State today. They're going back to the judge, so that's possible. I still think it's a long shot. I don't think personally. I don't know about Cal that Stanford wants nothing to do with that this new.
Oh, they might.
We'll see.
Geographically speaking, after going through what they're going to be going through.
But they're such snobs academically that they probably, when they were in the original Pac-10, were like, why are we in the same conference as Wazoo and Oregon State?
Hey, in your heart of hearts, do you think a degree from Stanford is better than one from Washington State?
Yeah, Jim, I do. And
you know what? We agree on that.
I think society would tell you that that's the case.
Did I ever tell you the story about Mark Justino, a friend of mine?
No.
Whose daughter, this is how much of a Coug he is. He grew up in the Tri-Cities and he's an absolute Coug, the biggest Coug ever, right?
Yeah.
So his daughter is really smart. She graduated from Issaquah High School. She got accepted to Stanford and he didn't want her to go to Stanford. And I said, why don't you want her to go to Stanford? Well, because they're in our conference. And I'm like, I would understand if you said Washington, but Stanford? And she ended up not going to Stanford. She went to Wisconsin.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I mean, if my kids are smart enough to get into Stanford and, it'll financially bankrupt us, they can go to Stanford if they'd like.
Yeah. Mikey and Stevie said, hey, Dad, we got accepted to Stanford. I'll drive you to Palo Alto and drop you off at the front door. I'd be so damn proud.
Knowing those great boys, when did you know that Mikey and Stevie probably academically aren't going to make it into Stanford?
Their grades were good in high school.
Were they?
I mean, they were in the 3.5 range.
I get that with Stevie.
Oh, you don't get that with
Mikey? I'm just not there with Mikey, who is, again,
my
favorite person now on Twitter is Mikey Moore.
Mikey actually had some advanced courses in high school, they're bright. They take after their dad.
Now I feel bad.
They take after their dad.
You know how much I love Mikey on Twitter. Mikey on Twitter is the best.
Oh, yeah. After ripping him. Yeah, you just ripped him. You ripped my kid.
I know.
You ever hear me ripping Mari or Owen?
Yes.
Huh? No, yeah. I've never done that. Not one single time.
You can follow Mikey Moore at Ike Moore 15. He's my favorite, especially after a Mariners game.
Oh my God. I just wish I had a camera on their apartment after the Apple Cup after we win the game, because they'll be hammered and they'll be having the best time ever. God, they love the Cougs. I raised my kids right, man.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'm so proud of them, and I'm so happy they're in Pullman right now.
Mikey Moore, after the he hasn't really tweeted much since the Mariners. I think he's given up on the Mariners, but September 1st, I don't know why I torture myself by watching this team play every day.
Yeah, well, he's fed up with them like a lot of Mariner fans, and he had tears when we made the playoffs. He called me. He called and Kathy and I, and he was crying. He was so excited about the Mariners making the playoffs, and so he's distraught about this team.
Yeah.
But can't you make a case for Jerry DiPoto to come back? I mean, it's just I still am in disbelief over that, how they can do that. And 16 more strikeouts last night.
One
Julio
for 11.
Striking out to end the game.
One for 11.
I keep track. Hey, Puck, I keep track of this. I love it, man. I want them, like we talked about that we were hoping they were going to lose out. I want them to break this strikeout record. And the Twins hold it was 1,654 from last year. The Mariners are at 1,493. And this is possible. This is an attainable goal. This is easier than making the playoffs. They need to average 10.8 strikeouts in their last 15 games to break the record set by the Twins last year. Did you also know that the Mariners have struck out, get this, in the last 307 games, the Mariners have struck out 3,096 times. And they've got the worst batting average in the league and in Mariner history at 219. And they're bringing that dipshit back? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, stop with the potty mouth.
How can you justify coming back? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
It's why okay. I agree with you. I don't get it, but how do I make this make sense? But you have to get it. Look who they're owned by. Like I just like
no, but even if you're
makes sense because they do not care about winning. They just don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't. They do not care about winning.
I thought that it even reached a point, when they reached the point where Service went, that if they didn't make the playoffs this year, that DiPoto would go too. Like Stanton, even if he's, a dummy when it comes to baseball, and I don't think he is, that he probably would even go, you know what, Jerry, I've given you as much time as I can. And, we're the laughing stock in baseball and I can't take it anymore. So I'm sorry, but we got to terminate your contract. Or, like Rich Moore told me, we got to eliminate your position. Well, that would have been a nicer way of putting it. But no.
They don't care. They just don't. They care more about, again, we're just rehashing this. It's never going to change.
Well, no, wait a minute. How about just fire Jerry and hire somebody cheaper? Hire somebody that's like 32 years old, that's some up-and-comer that would take the job for $1 million a year.
Because it's comfortable with them. They're convinced that this plan is going to work, and they like being in this position they're at now. What are they going to finish with? What are they going to be win total-wise? They're going to be around, 85? 84?
And are you going to be lining up for season tickets, thinking about Dan Wilson being the manager next year?
I think they just sent out to, and I think we were. Oh, you'll love this. We can get to it later. It's up on the rundown. There was a KJR Cube reunion last night. And,
did you go?
Oh yeah, I went. Of course I went. It's great.
What do you mean, of course?
Well, I was always going to go. It's put on by the Gas Man. I love gas.
No, I know, but it wasn't an of course, was it? Like, okay, I got to give it some thought. I'm going to go.
Oh, it was great. It was great to see. I haven't seen. I'm going to get to it in a second because I think you being from the old newspaper days and media days, and I just think companies in general now, you'll appreciate what I'll say in a few minutes about it because it's we've lost it for every job, right? We've lost kind of what I experienced last night. Anyway, back to the Mariners. I just think that they care about that whole 54% thing. What I think really meant by it was they would be more comfortable in a situation where they're in now, where they're kind of relevant and people go. They're going to set an attendance record this year. They're going to surpass what they had last year. Think about that for a second. Think about that. And there's a massive disappointment this year. But yet
it looked like there were quite a few empty seats last night for a team that's supposedly in playoff contention. I don't know what they announced.
Yeah, but I'm saying like early. I mean, you go back and think about the early in the season, the attendance that they were having. I mean, I don't know. I think the bottom line just means more to them and their actions that they did last year. And then we'll see what they're going to do this year. We've talked about it routinely, just how much money is up. They've got to pay so many people. And it's unfortunate that they're going to, I mean, yesterday on the show, Brad Adam and I are discussing who are you going to trade, Castillo or Gilbert. One of these young guys are going to get traded.
Well, if it's between those two, it's Castillo for sure, isn't it?
I would hope so, but yeah. But I think you also do entertain the idea of the younger guys who are going to bring you back more talent. You know, Gilbert and Miller and Kirby and Wu, they're going to bring you back the talent more so than Castillo.
Yeah, but you got to get rid of Castillo's contract. Those other guys aren't getting paid yet.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's another thing. If they get rid of Castillo, the biggest thing of the reason they're getting rid of Castillo is what?
Well, the $24 million a year they're paying him, or whatever it is,
$72 million over the next 3 years. That's why they're going to get rid of him, and that's why they're going to trade Randy Arozarena. They're going to pay Randy Arozarena. I don't think that's happening.
Does Randy Arozarena really look like a guy who wants to be here? I'll answer my own question. Absolutely not. That guy doesn't want to be here. I mean, he's had some good games and he's a good player, but I don't sense that he goes home at night and calls his wife back in Tampa and says, "Man, I'm really enjoying it here in Seattle." I don't get that feeling from him.
I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think he looks at this and is all fired up. I'll tell you what, you can tell, even though like Root's got to be. And even listening to the flagship radio, they've got to, they're run by the team, right? So they can't be overly critical. Everyone knows that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I was listening on the radio the other day, and I almost thought Aaron Goldsmith was going to go over and finally criticize, go lay into Randy Arozarena. And Angie almost did it last night too. His antics where he knows he's going to take a pitch
and steps out of the box,
and then it's a strike every time.
I mean, that's like what you see in that in Little League games, but you don't see it in Major League games.
Oh, I've had back-to-back seasons with two kids. It doesn't matter what pitch is coming; it's jumping into the dugout every time that pitch is coming.
Yeah, it's those guys, on the flagship and the Call the Game and Root Sports. I mean, they just must go home and go, God, I wish I could say what I really feel like saying. Like I think Goldsmith could get away with it because he's going to get all kinds of job offers elsewhere. Not to say that Angie can't get away with it, but that just bubbling beneath the surface, Angie Menting just wants to unleash some four-letter words.
I think they all do. I think they all would. I think they all would like.
Except for Riz. Riz doesn't.
Riz. Yeah, you're right. Riz. There's no way. So they blew it last night. They lose 5-4. They're 4.5 games back at Houston. They're 4.5 back in the wild card, but it's really 5.5 because they don't know any of the tiebreakers. 15 games left, and we'll continue to tune in. DeGrom gets the ball tonight. Hancock. Twins host the Reds. What else we got? Astros, I think, are at the Angels.
Hey, Rocker looked good in his debut, didn't he?
That was a cool story. Did you see him show his parents?
Yeah, that was great for him.
That was, what? It's weird. It's awesome to have a really engaged owner of your team.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Who one doesn't hide and likes to spend money, likes to be engaged on winning. I'm talking about the Mariners, and then the owner of the Seahawks team who doesn't spank people and whip people and from a hot tub and then steal tusks from Africa.
Oh, you haven't brought that up for a while.
Oh, I haven't brought.
Where's the towel snapping?
I need to get the towel snapping. So the owner of so his dad. Do you know what he does?
Well, I didn't know that until I saw the tweet last night about he's a defensive line coach for the Titans.
Yeah, and the Titans owner, Amy Adams Strunk, flew him and his wife out to Seattle to watch the game, and then right afterwards they left to go back to Tennessee so he can get ready for the game. That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, and their kid did a good job. He did a really good job.
Oh, he looks the part, boy. Does that guy
Yeah,
look
he
the part?
does.
Jesus. Yeah, he's
Gonna have to deal with him in the division for several years.
man, he just is massive. And just that slider was working for him last night. So yeah, that we'll see. I mean, we'll watch, but it is slowly ending for your Los Marineros. I said this a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was with you or not. And people like, well, no, the Sonics collapse was worse. Do you view the Sonics when they lost in 94 as a collapse or a choke job? Because I look at it differently, because I view a collapse as like a glacial, falling from a lead and then missing out at the end. Like it's a long period of time, rather than what I thought that 94 team was, where they led, all year long, number 1 seed. To me, that was an Apple Cup. That was a choke job.
Yeah, I mean, I was covering the team at the time, and at that time, no number 1 had ever lost to a number 8.
Right.
And Denver somehow caught fire. If I'm not mistaken, Denver's record was under 500 too, wasn't it, for the season? But they still got in.
Probably. Yeah.
And God, I still remember Robert Pack was crazy for the Nuggets. Yeah, I would put it more in the choke category than colossal collapse category.
Because that's what I think the Mariners are. I think the Mariners, this is the biggest collapse I've ever seen from a Seattle sports team.
Yeah.
To be 10 games up and then just to completely fall apart.
No, and I'm with you. And it's probably makes me look like a bad human being, but what the hell, I want them to finish under. If they're not going to make the playoffs, I want them to finish under 500.
Well, they got.
I just want everything to look bad for Jerry at this point.
Yeah.
Just like you can't possibly make a case for bringing this guy back, and yet you still do it anyway. If they're under 500, set a record for strikeouts, and if they have the worst team average ever, and you're going to bring that guy back, how would that go over like the GM for the Yankees?
It's not gonna go. It doesn't go over anywhere. And you know what? I was thinking about last night is that game ended, and I watched Julio just flail again. And again, there was no Edgar effect last night. I do love this team that when they have a great offensive night, it's man, that Edgar Martinez. I mean, the impact that guy is making, he is simplifying everything. Then they suck balls the next night, and I don't hear any of them talking about the Edgar effect. They were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. How many times they strike out?
16.
I didn't hear anyone talking about Edgar's influence last night after the game.
I know.
Including the star, who just looked absolutely pathetic up there on that at-bat. I mean, he's fallen over left and right. And I was thinking, this is without a doubt, in his young career, the biggest offseason for Julio Rodriguez. Because a lot of the reason why they struggled this year is his fault. It's on him. And I'm sorry, he's paid like a superstar, and he did not play like, and we all know that. He didn't play like one this year.
God,
they're going to be successful.
The worst part, Puck, is that he's not clutch.
He's not clutch, and I don't want to hear. And you know what? We're gonna. You know what? And we're gonna get blowback for that. And I don't believe he's clutch either. But we're gonna get shit on for this because someone's gonna listen to this, and they're gonna pull up his numbers, and it's gonna show that no, you guys are crazy. He actually has good numbers in the clutch. I don't care what Baseball Reference says. I'm telling you, when that guy comes up with the game on the line and can drive in a winning run, he doesn't do it. He just doesn't.
When he was up in the 9th inning after Robles got the single,
I thought exactly what happened. That's what was going to happen.
Yeah, I thought he would strike out. I did.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, man. You got to come through in those moments.
You have to.
If you're a superstar player, you have to come through more often than not in those moments.
And he just hasn't. And this is the biggest we all love Julio. This is the disclaimer. I love Julio. But this is the biggest offseason for Julio Rodriguez. Because he has got to, whatever his struggles were this year, he's got to figure it out. Okay? And figure it out fast. Because the reason they're missing the playoffs, I mean, for all of the crap and that they put on the field, I think he is 85% the problem why they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, if he had a year that you expect a young superstar to have, they would have. Yeah, they'd be in first place in the West right now.
I know it sucks to put it all on him, and maybe it shouldn't be all on him, and it shouldn't be all on him. But there's an expectation.
What's he at? 14 home runs right now?
Yeah.
How about that bet that Chris Kidd made? $500 that he finished with 20. You remember that one?
When, this year?
So, yeah. I think at the All-Star break, he bet that with some listener. And so Kidd's going to be out $500 here pretty soon.
He on the radio show. Chris and we love Chris to death, but he doesn't know one thing, and that's gambling.
Like you and I do.
We know gambling.
Hey, I was on the right side last night. I had the Sun Devils given one or something to Texas State, and I had the Bills plus 2.5 at Miami.
I was rooting for Texas
State.
Man,
Miami. I mean, God, don't you feel bad for Tua? Everybody feels bad for Tua today. And it looks like he probably won't play against the Seahawks. So the Seahawks are going to go from facing Bo Nix in his first game to Jacoby Brissett in the next game.
Thompson.
And Skylar Thompson in the third game.
There's not a chance he plays against the Seahawks. There's no way.
No.
There's no way. I don't know.
Is he ever going to play again? I mean, people are talking about, is he ever going to play again? He shouldn't play again.
I don't even know how many concussions it is for him now, but it's just bad. And, at some point as a player in any sport, you got to put your health above everything else. He's got to make the call, though. But also people that are looking out for him, they've got to make the call as well, because he'll want to play. He's going to want to play.
It didn't even look like that bad of a hit, when he just drove into Hamlin there. And then ironic in a way, or whatever, maybe it's a wrong use of the word, but DeMar Hamlin being involved in that.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. That was tough to watch. Really tough to watch.
It is. It was tough to watch. You don't like seeing that stuff. So Seahawks, quickly on the Seahawks news. I don't know. I'll be real curious about Ken Walker, about Ken Walker's availability. He may not play on Sunday. So
that would be my guess based on what we hear from the VMAC.
Yeah. It's going to come out. The injury report will come out later. I was talking to Garofolo this morning, and so it I don't know. At this point, around 10:30, it doesn't look good that he'll play on Sunday. So if you have Zach Charbonnet, put him in your fantasy lineup, and I got Zach Charbonnet, so it's good. But
they should be okay with Charbonnet out there, though.
Yeah, I guess he missed the same game. He missed 2 games last year with the same injury. I forgot about that ab injury that he had last year. Did you see what the Patriots are doing? I love what they're doing, by the way. They're honoring the Super Bowl team on Sunday. The 2014 team. Malcolm Butler.
2014 team.
Yeah. They're going to play
That's pretty good.
The video, like the Ducks do with the Kenny Wheaton's going to score video against Washington, against everybody now. I like that. That's really good. I would do the same damn thing.
You don't think it's a coincidence that they're doing it?
No, it's not a coincidence. God, no.
Hey, I was just kind of looking back, and I think it might have been the last time the Seahawks played at New England. You remember that Sunday night game? And I know you like this guy, so that's why I'm bringing it up. The Seahawks win that game 31-24. CJ Procise. That was probably his best game as a Seahawk.
And
then he came back against Philadelphia the next week and was good again.
That's where the CJ Procise fan club started. I loved CJ Procise. I thought Procise was going to be a star.
I did too.
Carry the banner for that guy. That was the Procise breakout game. That was the game that Earl Thomas, he punctured Gronk's lung.
Was that game?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, but I just remember Procise was a key contributor to that win on Sunday Night Football.
And Cam Chancellor, I think Chancellor tackled Gronkowski in the end zone and they didn't call PI.
That was fun. That was really fun.
That was a great game. Hey, so yeah, there was a KJR Cube reunion last night that was put on by Mike Gastineau, the Gas Man, and Michelle Grosnick. No one in our audience will really know who Michelle Grosnick is. I don't know if you even know. She ran the radio station. She was the Mark Glenn of back in the day. For you. Okay. This is just for Jim. Folks, a listener and viewer, this is just for Jim's knowledge. So it was great. And it was people from 25 years ago. I mean, old school people. Was
Kevin Wall there?
I did not see Kevin Wall. No, you know who I was hoping to see was New York Vinny. God, I was hoping to see Vinny.
He didn't make it. He's
He
in
did-
town.
Yeah, Vinny didn't make it. The Graz father didn't make it. He wasn't feeling well. I was disappointed, but that was the guy that I was probably excited the most to see was
How about
Graz.
the T-Man? Was he there?
T-Man was not there. No.
Michael Knight?
No, Michael Knight wasn't there. It's our
Mitch Levy
was not there, but was invited. Was not there, but was invited.
David Locke?
No, in Utah. No, it was not there. I'll get before we get into who's there and start naming off everybody. What I loved about it last night was that it was over at the 32 Bar and Grill. It was great. You'll love this traffic wise living in Seattle, and you don't have to deal with this in Bend anymore. I live in Ballard to Northgate. It's like 2.8 miles. It took 35 minutes.
Yeah. You mean there was traffic in the Northgate area?
From Ballard, it's just unbelievable. God, it was maddening. Anyways, it would just what I loved about radio and media, and you can probably say the same thing for newspapers and TV and all that, is just it used to be so much fun. So much fun. And open bars and get-togethers. And everyone just and people that work in that line of business, they're just, they have a different personality. It's fun and it's loud and it's, and even if you don't work in that, any type of company that someone works for, if you remember what it used to be like, right? And it was your work family. And that's what it was like back in the day, especially when we were owned by the Ackerleys and it was locally owned. And then when it transitioned early into Clear Channel, it was still kind of that atmosphere. And then it just progressively got worse and worse and worse every year, and then when Clear Channel became iHeart, it just down the drain. And I just was sitting there last night talking to people I haven't seen forever. Do you know Amy Spino? She was in our traffic department. I thought, well, she's Cougar. Yeah, she's a Cougs. So I didn't know if you knew her, but it's just people that I hadn't seen forever. And it was so much fun. It just reminded me how much fun it used to be. And I'm sure you could say the same thing about like the old times in the PI and how everyone used to probably come into the office to work. And then slowly but surely that went away. And then probably the company parties went away. And probably people probably watching this right now, their companies, wherever you work for, that's probably the same thing now. And we've lost that. We've lost that. We're going to work in a weird way. It used to be fun. All right, and you have these great, parties and get-togethers, and now it's just become, terrible in a way. And it was awesome. It was also sad at the same time because that I think in that industry that's over, and it will never come back.
No, it's interesting you say all of that, Puck, because there was a reunion of PI people. The Post Intelligencer went out of business 15 years ago, and there was a reunion last Saturday night. I didn't make it to it because I was over there watching the Texas Tech game. I was in Pullman. But it was fun to see all the pictures of all the people I used to work with, and it sounded like it was a great time. But boy, you're right though. When I worked at the PI, we all came. It seemed like we all came there energized. We were the underdog newspaper in town, and we wanted to kick the Times' ass, and we were all united, with that goal of being the best paper we could be. We were the plucky little underdog that was going to get the job done. And I used to park my car there on Elliott and then walk through those front doors. And I thought, God, this is awesome, man. I'm back at the PI, the newsroom, the sports department. There was always a buzz. There was kind of an electricity. And you always felt like everybody was working together toward one common goal. It was, I don't know. I don't want to glorify it too much, but damn, I love being a newspaper guy. I appreciate that I've had a radio career, but the newspaper guy, has never left. I just enjoyed the hell out of that.
And I'm sure, I'll bring it up to Egan later. I'm sure it's the same thing with Egan. It's, even in TV, it's, just things have changed. And I would say that things have changed in all businesses, whatever, like someone's watching this or listening to this later, your work and job has probably changed, right? Corporate greed has ruined a lot. It just really has. And that's all businesses. It's just absolutely ruined it. If I could give you one guess to the one person that was there last night that, that decided, because they couldn't find anywhere to park in Northgate when there are a million spaces to park, decided to park in a handicap spot? What would your one guess be?
Rich Moore.
But Purple Sheet was not there. He was not there last night.
Were you glad he wasn't there?
No, I wouldn't say I was glad. I was interested. If he was there, I was interested in, like, how would that go? Hey,
Rich, when are you going to hire a permanent host for 10-1 anyway? Why are you dragging your feet so much on that? Is it because you had a hard time replacing the 2 guys you got rid of?
That probably would have been the opening line right there. But it was, there's one person decided to park in a handicap spot.
Who?
And they know who you are. I'm not going to say who it is. They know who they are.
Why?
Because it's not my place to do it.
Yes, it is.
Not
it's
my.
It's your podcast.
Not my place to do it.
It's somebody. Bucky Jacobson. Was it Bucky? Was it Softy?
I didn't say that. I didn't say it was anyone.
He did. Fuck it, man. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a radio spot, so I just fucking parked in the handicap spot.
Never said that. I never said it was him.
Yeah, you did. You just did it. So it was your place. Just by that little. Oh, by the way,
Cougs.
Since you're doing impressions, for some reason Kim Grinnell's a dog man. I know you're a big fan of his. He called me.
I noticed you hoard yourself out and went on that show too.
And so, anyway, somehow Jen Cohen's name came up, and I dropped your name, and I said, God, the thing I miss the most about her going to USC is that Puck used to always do impersonations of her, and I never hear him anymore. So could you give me a little Jen Cohen just for old time's sake?
I don't know who I'm rooting for, but I'm telling you right now, I watch that Dickard over there, and I just go, man, does he have it? That Dickard.
God. Remember all that bullshit about her bleeding purple and gold and worshiping Don James? Jesus Christ.
She jumped off a sinking ship. That's what she did. She jumped off a sinking financial ship and went to USC where they're flush with cash. That's what she did. Oh.
Hey, somehow we've gone like 39 minutes without talking about the Apple Cup, and we got to go to Troy Wins.
We'll get to Troy Wins. Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about the Apple Cup. You're confident as ever. I gain more confidence. I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm curious when I get over there at halftime. So we get out of the football game, Eastside Catholic, right there, Inter Bay Eagles taking on Eastside Catholic. If you want to come out to watch the Eagles take on the Crusaders, 11 o'clock at Eastside Catholic High School. Right now, the Eagles getting 7.5. Wait
a minute, you're playing a team from Eastside Catholic feeder program?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to just get slaughtered.
Okay. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, wait a minute. A team from Ballard against a team from Eastside Catholic feeder program?
We're scrappy. And we've got a new offensive system.
What's the 10-run rule in football?
30.
Because I remember when our kids
30 is a running clock.
It was a 5-star program out of Hazen, and we played Bothell at Pop Keeney one time.
Yeah.
They instructed their kids to run out of bounds instead of running to the end zone.
I don't know.
I was upset. I was like, hey, no. I'd rather lose 60 to nothing.
I agree. I hate
than
this
30 to nothing. Don't go out of bounds.
Stupid.
And don't give us the ball at the 50.
Yeah.
I mean, they do bullshit for kids, because they don't want to hurt their feelings.
Well, and there's a dumb rule. So it's 30. If you get up by 30, they start running the clock, which I understand. But what I don't like, if you score, I think the rule in our league, if you score more than 34 or you up by 34, like the coach, the next game gets suspended. And I'm like, well, why? Like, if you put in the backups and little Johnny, who never gets the ball, has a chance to score, let him score.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just no one cares. Like, it's the kids do not care. It's the parents that care. Yeah. That's why they put these stupid rules in. Like in the boys and girls basketball league that we were in the last several years, you got up by 20 and they shut the clock off. They don't do that for the kids. They do it for the parents because the parents get upset. It's dumb.
Yeah. Okay, but you're thinking your kid's team is a 7.5 point underdog. I'll lay the 7.5 for $10. $10.
Yeah, the Eagles. We got a new game plan coming out on Saturday that we're going to unveil, and Eastside Catholic doesn't know what's about to hit them. We're going to punch them in the mouth.
Hey, by the way,
Inter Bay Eagles.
by the way, you should be thanking me for doing this morning.
Why?
Because I listened to the Puck the Huskies podcast with Elise Woodward and Jordan Reffett previewing the Apple Cup before we did the show today. And you called me an idiot.
Did I?
You called me an idiot.
Oh, an idiot for your bet.
Yeah, well, you called me an idiot. I don't appreciate that.
Because you didn't make sense with the bet, and you still don't make sense with it.
Why?
Okay, have you figured out how you're going to get Husky fans to pay you yet?
Yeah, well, it's on Twitter. It's on Twitter. I went through the list of people that want to make the bet last night.
Okay.
And I'm up to 50. And on each one of them on Twitter, I said, okay, you're in. The bet's in.
Okay.
And so there's 50 people who've taken my bet.
Okay.
And we're all going to pay each other. You don't believe that, do you?
I do not.
Huskies win, I pay them $1. Cougs win by 1-9. No one exchanges any money. If we win by 10 or more, which I know is going to happen, they owe me $5.
Okay.
So think about this. I need to get 50 more people betting this thing because I'm already up to 250 that I'm going to win. And if I lose, it's only $50, Puck. It's 5-1. I think I have a hell of a bet.
I think you do too. So we'll be over there. I'm going to leave the Eastside Catholic game, and then how much do you think I'll be able to scalp tickets for if I get there at halftime?
If you get there at halftime to get a ticket?
Yeah. $100 for three total, don't you think?
Oh, you should be able to get in for nothing.
That's what I think. Should I just
People
go up
be
to
giving
the
them away
window?
at halftime.
Should I just go up to the window and just give me free tickets?
Well, will the ticket booth be open? Yeah, you got to try and find somebody outside trying to sell them.
Okay, so find somebody outside. I got you. All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. I'm looking forward to it.
My kids are looking forward to it. Are you going to go regardless of what the score is?
No, I told my
24-0.
No, I told my daughter. I was like, if we're getting crushed at halftime, we're not going in.
So you're not a true blue Coug fan,
no,
then.
I'm not going to experience that debacle. All right, hey, you ready to talk a little gambling with our guy Troy Wins from TroyWins.com?
I am. I miss Troy.
I know. Let's bring him on. He's our handicapper, and he joins us right now. Troy Wins from TroyWins.com. Troy, good to see your face. How are you, sir?
Good to see you guys. We got the band back together. My gosh, how is Jim Moore doing?
God, when do I get some TW apparel here? Come on, man.
Well, shipping now that you're in Bend's going to be a little bit more, right? I can't just drive to Issaquah and hand it to you. Are you still out in Bend, Oregon?
I love you, Troy, but if you take the Huskies, I'm not going to love you, man. We'll find out.
I've got to pick on that game, and it's on the total. It's on the total. So
the total? You got to pick a side.
I know. Well, that would be too easy. I've got to play on the total, Jim. That's one of my locks of the week is the total on this game.
That's what I'm talking about. You're damn right. All right, let's get into the picks here in a second, and then. But I want to explain what's going on here. So last year on the radio, we did a football betting contest between the three of us where we all picked games at the end. And then whoever picked us at the end, and if they would qualify to be thrown in a hat and they would win a trip to Las Vegas. Troy and his staff at TroyWins.com, they put you up with airfare, with stay at the Circa Hotel, and for the first week of March Madness, which is that's the best prize package in the city, Jim. There's nothing tops that. Cash from a casino who's flush with cash does not top that what TroyWins.com did. Airfare, hotel, first week of March Madness. What would you rather have? I'd rather have the experience. All right. So we went to Troy and said, Troy, you want to do something similar? And this son of a gun said, you know what? I am in, and I will do it. So if you go to PuckSports.com right now, up on the website at the very, very top, you are going to see the Puck the Picker NFL Pick'em pool. Just hit the join now. Little button right there. It's going to take you to the ESPN Pick'em site there for the NFL, and log in and start making picks. It's all against the spread every NFL game. And of course, we've missed week 1 and we missed Thursday Night Football last night, but that was planned. So start with all the games this Sunday, and then moving forward, you pick every NFL game against the spread. And then, of course, at the end of the year, whoever's got the highest winning percentage is going to win a trip for 2, right, Troy, to Las Vegas, Nevada, hotel airfare. You're staying at the Circa first week of March Madness. When you go to the website, you'll see the password to enter. The password to enter the Puck the Picker NFL Pick and Pool is just PuckSports, and it's all lowercase. PuckSports, easy peasy. Go to the website. The easiest place to do is PuckSports.com. Hit the join now, and then start picking your games. Troy, you are a man of honor and grace, and Jim and I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. We appreciate it.
You bet. And we'll throw in Barry's Steakhouse again as well. We'll do a night at Barry's, one of the better steakhouse again. You know, Diane won that trip last year, and I've still got the email. Show it was one of the best trips of her life. Diane was 70 years old. She went with her son, and she said she had a great time. And she even came back. I think she ended up making like $4,000 on bets at the Circa. Diane and her son. So yeah,
she did.
So it was just quite the trip for her. Quite the trip.
Oh my God!
So
what was she betting on?
Anybody could win. She was betting March Madness, college hoops, and I was getting text messages from her. I won again. I hit a 5-team parlay. I couldn't believe it. So she had the trip of a lifetime.
God, we got to get her on, Jim.
Yeah. We do.
Can I enter the contest? Because I'm not officially involved with PuckSports.com or no.
Yes, you are. You can't win the damn thing. You're not winning it.
You're not paying me.
Oh. Once again, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm paying you with acknowledging you're still here. You know
By calling me an idiot.
By calling you an idiot. That's exactly right. No, Jim, you can't enter. But everybody else can enter. If you just go to PuckSports.com. I'm about to put it up again on Twitter. It's just real easy to sign up. And you just start picking the games against the spread every week, just all NFL. Make sure you get them in. So if you don't get it in, you pick the games on Sunday, right, Troy? But you forget to do Monday and you miss out, well, you lose. And don't forget about that Thursday game as well. Yep. So it'd be great. Let's jump. So again, PuckSports.com, Puck the Picker, NFL Pick and Pool. It's up right now, PuckSports.com. Grand prize, a trip for two, airfare. You're going to stay at the Circa Hotel. That's the one with the great big sports book, the screens outside and the pool. And then Troy and his folks there at TroyWins.com, they're going to take you to Barry's Steakhouse there as well. That's the grand prize. Go sign up today. Do it before the games kick off there on a Sunday, so you have until 10 o'clock Pacific time to sign up. Let's jump in. Hey, let's jump into some games. Start previewing some of the games before we get to the NFL. Jim, you tell Troy your bet there for the Apple Cup. He's going to love this.
Oh yeah, Troy, what do you think of this? So I'm trying to bet Husky fans on this, and you're a Husky fan, so you might want to take me up on it. I'm so convinced the Cougars are going to win by double digits. So here's the bet: if the Huskies win, and they don't have to cover the 4.5 or the 5. If they just win by 1 or 50 points, I pay the Husky fan $1, okay? If the Cougs win by 1 to 9 points, no money exchanges hands. If the Cougs win by 10 or more, the Husky fan pays me $5. What do you think?
Interesting. That's confidence. That's confidence. Life must be a little rough, huh, Jim? $1 to $5 bets.
I just wanted to make it. I wanted to make it small potatoes. I'm on a fixed income, just Social Security and unemployment benefits.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell.
So, but no, right now I've got 50 people who've taken me.
Is that real? Is that real confidence, Jim, or is that bias? Have you seen enough on tape to convince you that this is going to be a Coug blowout?
I was at the Texas Tech game last Saturday, and John Mateer. I mean, come on. And the Huskies are in transition. I think they're going to be good at the end of the year. I think we have the better team this year. And Troy, what about the intangibles with the Cougs going into that game going, hey, wait a minute, man, you were part of the teams that left, the defectors that kicked us to the curb. We want to kick your ass, and we want to plant a flag on that Big Ten logo like Puck suggested that we need to do at the end of the game.
Hey, I'm not going to argue. I don't have a real pick on the side, but I do like under 55.5 on this game. I'll tell you why. To your point, the quarterback of Washington State carried the ball 21 times last week. I just don't think that's realistic for him to do that again. Steve Belichick's a fantastic defensive coordinator. The Huskies haven't given up a touchdown in their first 2 games. I get the competition piece. Cougars defense actually looked pretty good against Texas Tech as well, holding a pretty good offense to 16 points. I think it's going to be like a 24-20, even a 27-24 game gets you under. And so I really like the under 55.5 on this game.
Well, hey, Troy, wait a minute. Let me just take exception. What makes you think that Belichick's kid is a good defensive coordinator?
Hey, it's so far so good. I get the confidence. I get it was Weber State. I get it was Eastern Michigan, but to not give up a touchdown, that's an upgrade from what we had last year. And I think he's going to have a game plan. I really do. Like you said, Mateer looked fantastic against Texas Tech, but I don't think you're just going to run wild against that Washington defense. I'm not going to claim that they're a top 10 defense by any means, but I don't think you're just going to go run loose like Lamar Jackson like you did last week.
Okay, if you were to pick a side, which way would you lean?
I would probably take the points with the Cougars. I think this game's decided by 3 to 4. I think the line's officially at 5.5 right now. I would probably take the points. Some of the listeners, if you're a teaser player, I would tease the Cougars up to like 11 or 12, tease that total up and go under. But I think it's going to be a game kind of decided by 3 or 4 points.
Yeah. All right, let's run through. I want to run through some of the games. Jim will go back and forth. Jim, you got the games in front of you. Let's start first. Let's go to the NFL. The Commanders taking on the Giants. Washington is favored by 1.5. What do you like, Troy?
Yeah, this is battle of bad for sure. I'm not going to take anything away from that. Two really bad football teams, but give me the Commanders at home. Daniels finally got a game under his belt. I think this guy's going to be a solid quarterback. I think Dan Quinn and his coaching staff is the better coaching staff, and they're at home. That's not an easy place to play. Give me the Commanders minus the points.
Okay.
We got the Colts given 3 points on the road at Green Bay. I guess it's because Jordan Love won't be playing. You got Malik Willis starting for the Packers. Who you got there, Troy?
Yeah, it's kind of probably a square play. I think a lot of the public's going to be on it, so it makes me a little nervous, but I am going with the Colts. I just think, Malik Willis, he had his time in Tennessee, not impressive at all. Guy really doesn't fit that Green Bay offense. He's more of a runner, not a slinger like Jordan Love. They're going to have to change things up and dumb it down. Give me the Colts -3 on the road going into Lambeau, and they get the job done.
Yeah, well, and Malik Willis is there now. He never showed anything, when he was at Tennessee, and now the Packers thinking they were going to make a run, and now with Love being out. All right, I'm going to save the Hawks there for the end. The Jags, who apparently have changed the name of their stadium after Trevor Lawrence, which is just a weird storyline. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Jags are favored by 3 against the Browns, and the time is up for Deshaun Watson. I mean, it's over and they owe him such a ton of money. Jags favored by 3 against the Browns.
Yeah, I was obviously highly into that game last week, watching my Cowboys roll them last week. I think they get rolled again. Jacksonville, with the debacle last week at home against Miami, I think they bounce back in a big way here. Trevor Lawrence still looked good. Give me Jacksonville. I think they win this game like 28-17. I'll take the Jags.
All right, we got the Ravens giving 9 points to the Raiders. Tell me you're not going against Gardner Minshew. Come on, Troy. Come on, Troy. Don't do it.
I was disappointed in the Raiders. They looked terrible against the Chargers. The Ravens got the long hangover, 10 days off now after their loss to the Chiefs. I think they bounce back in a big way. This is going to be a tough spot for Minshew to go on the road and face the pissed-off Ravens team. I like the Ravens big in this one, 31-17 Ravens.
You don't count out our guy, Minshew.
Is he gonna make it 17 games this year? Ooh, I don't know. It's gonna be.
He had pretty good numbers, other than the ball that he lost when he was trying to throw.
I'd be curious what the over/under, how many games he starts this year. And I like Minshew. I'm rooting for him. I don't think it's his fault. I just don't know if Antonio Pierce is the answer there in Las Vegas. And I don't know. Minshew's in a tough spot.
Cheap owner. I mean, we know something about a cheap owner. Panthers getting 5 against the Chargers.
I like this one a lot better when it was at 6.5. It did drop down to 5. I'm still taking the Panthers at home. They obviously looked pathetic week 1 at the Saints, but this is a league you just can't overreact from what you saw the previous week. I like the Panthers at home. Harbaugh's first game on the road. This Panthers team's really not that bad. They've got a pretty good run game. Bryce Young, I think, will get better as the year goes on. I'll take the points here. I think this game's decided by a field goal. Give me the Panthers in a 24-21 type of football game.
All right, and we got the Seahawks giving 3.5 to the Patriots on the road there. What do you think? The Patriots look pretty good winning at Cincinnati last week, and the Seahawks look good in the second half anyway against Denver.
Yeah, this was a head scratcher of a line to me. I thought it should have been higher. I am going with the Seahawks. I just think, again, we're overreacting to what we saw from New England. This is a team that a lot of people thought would win 3 or 4 games max. Brissett's still the quarterback, not much of a run game. They kind of snuck away with that one in Cincinnati. Cincinnati just shot themselves in the foot all game. Seattle has some confidence after how they looked in the fourth quarter. Give me the Seahawks in a close one, 28-21. I'd take the Hawks.
28-21. You think about this here for the Seahawks, Troy. This really, Jim, you brought this up earlier. All due credit to you, is that they really have been gifted these first 3 weeks. Now, the Tua thing happened last night, but to get Bo Nix, to get Jacoby Brissett, and now week 3 they're going to get Skylar Thompson.
I'm with you. Yeah, it is. It really is. It is unbelievable.
It's just
unbelievable.
It's great luck.
Can I sneak in a bonus pick from you, Troy?
You bet.
The
Let's
Civil War game in Corvallis, the other Pac-2 member, Oregon State hosting Oregon. Oregon State getting 16. Come on, go Beavs, man! That chainsaw be.
They're averaging 200. They're averaging 299 yards on the ground.
It's going to be interesting. Oregon's got a lot of adjustments to make, but can they lay 3 clunkers in a row? I don't know. This Oregon team had aspirations to win a national championship this year. They are still 2-0. They shouldn't be, but they are. I think the Ducks finally get it together. I think they're going to wax the Beavers. I really do. I think they finally get it together. 41-10. I think the Ducks run away with this one. And I'm not a Duck guy. I can't stand the Ducks. I hate the Ducks. They're going to get it together. They're not going to lay 3 clunkers. Give me the Ducks.
This is why the Ducks are the reason why. Jim, you agree with this, and Troy, you as well. This is why you shouldn't have preseason polls.
Yeah.
Because they just what are they still? I mean, they're still like top. Are they 6 now or 5? I mean, they have no business being ranked that high. They're not that good. But
they're not that good
because of the preseason poll. They get way up there and whatever. Hey,
Troy, $20. I'll take the Beavers in 16.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal. I'll Venmo you after the game. Deal.
What about the Inner Bay Eagles getting 7.5 against the Eastside Catholic Crusaders, 11-year-old Pop Warner football? Who do you like?
Okay. Oh, we're going to 11. I was wondering if that was a high school matchup. I'm starting to see spreads on these high school games now. We're going to be able to bet on these.
You are not. Where?
Not, my local guy's putting them on his site. My local guy.
Well, I'll tell you right
Troy,
now.
Puck actually thinks this team from Ballard that his kid's on is going to beat some Eastside Catholic feeder team. Come on,
they will. Okay. You watch what's going to happen. You don't understand the coaches and behind the scenes have been grinding. Coach
Can we watch
Carroll,
that live on PuckSports.com this weekend? Can we
watch
that?
You know what? I may do that. We may go live. We may go live with it, but it's hard for me because I'm quality control coach. I've got to put everyone back. They can't cross the line.
Quality control.
And I got to make sure that everyone's playing.
Perfect.
Jesus.
What? That's what my role is. I'm quality control coach. I don't really do any coaching. I don't know anything. Just out there having fun, yelling at kids.
Right. Important.
Are we betting on that game or not? What the 7.5? You want to give me? I'll lay 7.5.
We'll probably talk off the air. I'm not sure, my role in the team. I'm allowed to publicly bet on 11-year-olds. I can just feel like some parent is going to come up to me. Excuse me, why were you betting on our kids' football game? It's just
how's the quarterback look? How's the quarterback looking for the Inner Bay Eagles?
Quarterback, he's looking pretty good. He's got a couple bruises on the sides, but he's going to be fine. The vampire will be fine. He splits time with QB. It's like QB1 and QB1A with our buddy Flash Gordon Josh. So they're good.
Do you think let me ask you one more question. Do you think you're more nervous when he pitches or when he plays quarterback? Do you think?
Oh, it's not even close. Not even close. Pitching, not even close. Football, there's 10 other guys out there, right? Base pitching, it's just him. It's miserable. Absolutely miserable. All right, Troy, before we let you go, let's just recap what's going on. TroyWins.com, they're providing a trip for 2 to Las Vegas, Nevada, first round of the March Madness basketball tournament. I like how I had to say basketball tournament, like you didn't know what March Madness was. Hotel, you're going to stay at the Circa, airfare, all covered by TroyWins.com. All you got to do, that little QR code on the screen that you see, click that. That's going to take you to the sign up for the Puck the Picker NFL Pick'em Pool. You can also go to PuckSports.com. It's up there, top banner. Click on that. Join the pool. Do it before the Sunday games. You're going to pick every NFL game every week against the spread. The password is PuckSports, all lowercase, PuckSports. Sign up today, and at the end of the year, we'll go through the regular season. We'll just do regular season. And then the whoever finishes first, courtesy of our good friend Troy Wins, who is back again. He is going to provide a trip for two to Las Vegas for the March Madness first weekend of that, staying at the Circa Hotel. I say this every time. You've seen it on TV. It's the one with the big screens outdoor. It's the sports book in the pool, which is awesome. And then dinner at Barry's, and Troy's the best. And also, Troy's got winners left and right now at TroyWins.com. Don't you, Troy?
We do, yeah. Get to the website. We've got a brand new, gorgeous website. That's TroyWins.com. You can follow us on Instagram. It's Troy West. We give out a lot of free picks there. We do contests, giveaways, all sorts of cool stuff. So come take a look. We cover everything. We're still, we're covering, college football. We still do golf, guys. We do, obviously, the NFL. You name it, we cover it. We'll have UFC picks for you tomorrow if you're into the UFC. We've got the big event tomorrow at the Sphere. So come take a look. We cover everything. It's a great team of guys, and we're putting money in people's pockets.
Okay. All right, Troy, we appreciate it. We will talk to you every Friday around 10:40. So we'll talk to you next week. Happy betting. Good luck. And watch out for some video from the Inter Bay Eagles against Eastside Catholic.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. You guys running the wing tee? Is that still the only offense that group runs?
No.
Oh, wow.
We are in a full out power spread.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You might have to text me. I might come out and watch that.
Yeah. All right, Troy. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you, Jim.
See you,
Take care, guys.
Yeah, it's great to see him. It's great to see doing gambling. It's great. It's awesome. Isn't it wonderful? It's a wonderful time of the year, Jim. It really is.
No, I agree. I love football season. All kinds of games to bet on at all times. And Troy's one of the best. And it's a great trip that he's offering for the grand prize to the contest.
All right. Well, it's a long extended visit with you, so we'll cut you loose. Appreciate it as always. I apologize that I called you an idiot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
No, that's okay. I laughed.
Yeah, I know you did. We've got the Cougs corner. Well, I shouldn't say the Cougs corner, but it's up there as well. The Old Crimson podcast is up there. Jim, with his confident take on the Apple Cup, is available right now up at YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And he'll be watching the game closely tomorrow at his granddaughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
And trying
You think we're going to win? You think we're going to win, though?
I think we're going to win, but I just think it's close. I said 28-20. I think it's be a closer game. I think we're going to score somewhat like middle of the fourth quarter, and I think Stephen Hall is going to have a late interception on Will Rogers to seal the game.
How many yards does Coleman run for?
150.
150 and we still win?
Yeah, 150 we still win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. God, we need to win this one, Puck.
Yeah, we do. We need it. The Cougs need it. They need to win it. They need to just put the puppies in their place. They need the win desperately. All right. We'll talk to you on Monday. See you, bud.
All right. Have a good weekend. Go Cougs.
Yeah, go Cougs. There he is. Jim Moore joins us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on PuckSports.com. All right. Let's get to him. It's not a Friday without a visit from the great Chris Egan from King 5. All right. Hello, Chris. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm great, buddy.
You got to flip your camera around. There you go. There you go. Can I ask you a quick question before we get started?
1 second, buddy, because I want to get my headsets ready, and they're not. Okay.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Good, buddy.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Why do you have a what? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the Apple Cup beanie, but is it cold where you're at? Is it cold down in Puyallup?
It's chilly. The wife keeps the temperatures low. We try to help the energy out there. Yeah.
The energy.
It's Apple Cup, baby. It's Apple Cup.
Chris,
salad.
I love it. Chris Egan is here. He joins us every single Friday. It's brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, and corporate events. Find them at Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and fatzachspizza.com. You can follow Chris on X and Instagram at Chris Egan 5. You would have just seen him at the fair this week, dressed, of course, in the Puyallup look, which is flannel. And he was sampling both a scone and elephant ear. Why didn't you do the idea of putting them together and wrapping it up like a burrito?
Well, you mentioned that, Puck, a week ago on this podcast. And a week ago, I was convinced that the elephant ear was better. And then I talked, a lot of people are weighing in on this one. I know you and I have kind of led this discussion, which is just honestly hilarious to me. There's presidential debates, governor debates, and more people are concerned about what's better right now, a scone or an elephant ear. So what I wanted to do was get them both. I had the wife go get the scones. I got the elephant ear. I wanted to give them equal opportunity, fresh, hot, and I wanted to try them both at the same time. And Puck, I'm going to just tell you this. I switched my tune. When I had that hot, fresh scone right out of the oven, maybe they put extra jam. Maybe they knew what was going on because it just melted in my mouth and it was just pure delight. Went to the elephant ear first. I mean, it was good, Puck. It was good, but it wasn't the scone. So I've switched my tune. If you're going to get both of them and you're going to eat them both hot and fresh, I'm going scone.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sticking with it.
I hear you, but it disappoints me to hear you change your tune because I just think that the elephant ear is the gold standard of fair food.
I know, and a lot of people, but you've got to go with one or the other. And I said, let's have a fair taste test. Let's do it and do it right. And so I did it. And my opinion, the scone right out of the oven, you can't top it. Next week, Puck, I'm going to take the sample is going to be the onion burger versus the corn dog. Now, how about the timing on this, Puck? Fair day for the Puyallup School District was Wednesday.
Right.
That's kind of a traditional day where the wife and I go 50 years in a row. I've been to the fair. I think I've been with my wife probably 25, 26 of those times to the fair. This is what everybody should do if you're going to the fair. Guess what I had on Thursday? My yearly physical. So I knew I couldn't eat that much. So I knew I couldn't eat that much. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have an elephant ear. I'm going to have a scone. I'm going to have one onion burger. That's it. So.
Yeah, but what do you mean that's it? That's a lot. That's a lot. Here's what I don't understand. What I don't understand is that you had ceviche. No, I'm not getting ceviche at the fair, sir.
So I got an inside source that said, Chris, just try the ceviche. It's a new booth. I think you're going to like it. And it was date night and we needed a, let's just say an appetizer. So the wife, very physically fit, very mentally, sound with her health said, let's share a ceviche. And it wasn't bad, but I knew in my mind, Puck, I was still getting the onion burger. I was still getting the scone. I was still getting the elephant ear. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe instead of the loaf of French fries, let's start off with ceviche.
Can I just say that it concerns me that when they get the fish for the ceviche, that it's from the Puyallup River, and that's I've seen the Puyallup River, and it's a little dicey, Chris.
It's fresh though; it's right out of the river. They bring it right from the river.
It's caught by a carny. The best thing is a carny catches it and he brings it up and fillets it right there for you. The carny gets it from the river, brings it up, and he goes over to the space, the tent where they're selling everything. They got the knives and with the headset. And he's like, I got you the brand new knives. Come on over here, sit on down. We got the brand new knives here. You can get these right now. We're selling these for $19.99. If you buy them all right, if you buy 2 sets, we give them to you for $9.99.
It drove me crazy, Puck. It was worse than walking on the beaches of Cabo, was walking through those booths at the fair. I mean, everybody wants to say, can we clean your jewelry? Can we give you some conditioner? How's your knives? How's your flagpole? My flagpole's fine.
Excuse me, sir? Pardon me? How's my flagpole?
That's what I was asked, Buck. I mean, everybody was. I get it. If you're walking through there, you better be prepared for it. But my goodness, how much caramel corn and beef jerky can you buy? I mean, how much you need?
What's the? Did you go? One of my favorite things. Also, I love going through the 4-H, where the cows are. I love that. I freaking love that. And
there's nothing better. Yeah, the smell of manure,
and all these high school girls, and boys, they're all dressed up, and they're parading, their heifers around. Is that the right one? Is that the right term?
I think that's a farm word. Yeah, that is. And you know what? Give them credit. They're legitly farmers. They're legitly wearing their overalls, their Oshkosh bagosh stuff, and they're legit. They're on the farm. Now let's fast forward to last night, Puck. I'm walking into the fair, and I'm going to Walker Hayes. I just wrap up soccer practice. The wife wants to go see, let's go to Applebee's. He's got one hit, Walker Hayes.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, let's just do this. I'm walking in, and literally, Puck, I see like friends of ours. One of them is a plumber. One of them is a builder. One of them, works for a pharmaceutical company. Okay, what did I say none of them are, Puck? None of them work on a ranch and live in Montana. You wouldn't have known that last night, Puck. I mean, I'm walking in, I'm like, what the? It's like those old country western photos you used to do with your family. Everybody had, hey, how we doing? We're heading to Walker Hayes. I'm like, I guess I came in with my baseball cap on and my new level pullover, but I wasn't
new level.
I wasn't wearing the part last night. And the women last night, Puck, were wearing the sombrero hats like they were at an East Lake baseball game. The hunter boots and sombrero hats.
We call it the urban sombrero.
The urban sombrero.
The urban sombrero with the hunter boots and then the big Stanley mug.
Yeah, a lot of that out last night at Walker.
A lot of white wine in that Stanley mug.
Yes, yeah, they were definitely doing that last. And
did you see what she's wearing? Do you see what she's wearing over there? I mean, she just looks like. Ugh.
Answer This is a great Wazoo alum that has had his share of alcohol over the years. I'm at the bar last night, and of course, you know me, Puck. What do I get? I get the margarita.
Of course, you do.
And
standard.
Some of the guys I'm with, they go with Coors Light or Rainier beer. They get to walk out of the bar and head into the stadium. I can't leave with my margarita. I don't understand.
That doesn't make any sense. That
doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why couldn't I leave with my margarita, but they could leave with their Coors Light.
So in the concert, they can take their beer out inside where their seats are, but you can't take out a mixed drink.
I couldn't take my mixed drink.
Yeah, this state, that makes sense.
I didn't understand it. I'm sure it's a law somewhere, but so I just had to down my margarita fast.
And you've been known to down a margarita fast. Do your buddies look at you odd, like, can you get, what are we doing here? A silver bullet?
It's usually the bartenders, but then, when I ask for a second lime, they're just like, all right, just go with it. I'm like, I give them a nice tip,
I like a good margarita. I mean, I'm with you here, Chris. I like a good margarita. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, Puck, I did feel very old this morning, by the way, as we will talk sports, but I haven't even told this story to my wife. I stop off to get a coffee at a stand I've never been at. I was on the way to go see my parents. So I get stop off.
What was she wearing at the stand?
Well, that's this attractive gal, and she says, I asked for an iced mocha. This is where I feel really old, Puck. She goes, so you anchored the sports this week? And I'm like, oh, okay, she knows who I am. I'm like, yeah. And so I'm like feeling really young. And then she goes, hey, well, say hi to your son. I went to high school with him. And I'm like, yeah, you bet.
Wait a minute. But was it one of these places where they're...
No, I don't go to the bikini barista.
Was it a bikini barista?
No, I don't go to the bikini barista.
Have you ever gone to one?
One time, like 16, 17 years ago. That's the last time.
Oh,
and it was an accident.
Mine was not an accident. And me and my son were in Shelton. Have you ever been to the drive-in movie theater in Shelton?
I've not been. I've been to Shelton. It's a great place to go pick up some baby oysters
Meth?
and clams.
Oh,
But
okay.
I haven't been to the drive-in.
Well, there's only like three. There's like three drive-in movie theaters left in this state. One's in Shelton. One's in like Port Townsend, I believe, and there's one more I'm blanking on. Anyway,
is the one next to the B&I in Tacoma, is that done?
I think so. Yeah,
you remember the one up next B&I where they had the gorilla? I think there was a.
I never went to that one when we were kids. We went to the one in Auburn.
Oh, yep, I remember that one. Yep,
okay, so you remember that one, the Auburn one. So I believe they're all okay. So we went to the one in Shelton, and I think we were watching Goonies. And we're driving. I'm like, I need a coffee. I'm tired. And there's only in Shelton, there's one coffee place that was open, and it was It was a bikini barista. And my son is, I don't know how old this is. He was 7, and I'm like, we're pulling up, and he looks over, and he's like, his eyes just like saucers, like, oh my god. And she was wearing just like nothing, just absolutely nothing. I'm like, oh,
are the prices more at the bikini baristas, Puck? Are they?
Well,
or you just expected to tip more?
Let me check my punch card. No, I think they are. I think they're the same. I think they're the same. I think you are expected to tip a little more, right? Because you're getting a little show here, you know. So yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, at least we've solved some mysteries today. As we always do.
What did you saw Walker Hayes last night? He sings the Applebee song. Okay.
Sings he's got a couple more hits. He's actually got a cool hit, Puck. You would love. It's about coaching his kid in baseball and just kind of learning as a parent how he'd get so excited when his kid hit a home run, but he would be mad when he struck out, and how he just kind of had to, kind of learn as a parent and as a coach and take off the coaching hat. So, I mean, he kind of speaks to you and I a lot in some of his songs, and just he's a proud dad. I think he has 6 kids. Had a couple of his kids on stage last night. He's been busy. And this is a guy that was this was a guy, I think my wife reads all the bios on these acts, but used to work at Costco, second job to help the family as he was an aspiring artist, and got a big hit. The next thing you know, you're a mega star. And you're traveling, and you're at the he said the Pooh Outlet Fair. So he said it was good to be at the Pooh Outlet Fair last night. And and next week I'm hopeful to go to Alabama on Wednesday and Thomas Rhett on Thursday. So I think
we'll be there. We're going to be there Thursday.
Well, the Puckets and the Egans will hang out and have some scones together.
Yeah, we're gonna fire up. We're gonna fire up and make it down there on Thursday.
Will the wife wear the urban sombrero that night?
I'll get her to. You're damn right.
See if Mel will wear one too. Yeah. That would be fun. We'll get a group picture.
How many years in the Apple Cup is this for you? Are you covering the game on Saturday?
I think I'm going to pop over. I got to anchor that night. But this is 23 years now of covering for myself. And this, I could go back to when I was an intern at KSDW with Rod Simons, and I probably covered it a couple of times there in college as well. But over 2 decades of Apple Cup, I'm going to be honest with you, Puck. I enjoyed, my favorites were that day after Thanksgiving, driving over with longtime photographer Alan Reed, and we would head over there, and some days it was so packed in. I think there was twice we actually had to stay in Spokane because Pullman was so crowded. Sometimes you got to go into Idaho that night, the night before the game. Sometimes there was snow on the field. I mean, there's so many great memories. I think that disaster of an Apple Cup in Pullman when the Huskies ended up losing, and then after the press conference, it wasn't Softy, but it was somebody else asking Tyrone Willingham if he was even going to go on the trip to Cal after they lost that game. It was one of the greatest questions, one of the greatest post-game questions of all time. We did the interview, I think, from one of the Wazoo weight rooms, but there, I mean, Brandon Gibson and his 2 touchdowns at Husky Stadium. And I remember saying, to Brandon Gibson, what is it like
Oh, he is frozen up on
Chris
us.
stops me and goes, "It's the Cougs, and I'm from the South." Yes, you are. So, yeah, it's just, there's so many great memories. I'm glad the tradition is continuing. I think Lumen Field is going to be rocking. I have not seen the Cougs in person. I've done highlights 2 weekends in a row, and this team's legit. I think it's going to be a great battle. Honestly, I don't know where to go on this game on Saturday. On who's going to win it.
I think it's got a chance to be a really great game. I don't think we know anything about either team. I mean, having watched, both of them, I mean, they both have struggled at times, and then they end up pulling away, late in the game. So, or in the second half of the game. So I don't know. I mean, I'm nervous every time going into this game. I didn't give them much of a chance last year. And then last year's Apple Cup was one of the great. I mean, even though that we lost, just because it stinks that your team loses, but I can still say that was one of the greatest Apple Cups I've ever seen. It was awesome. It was great theater, everything that was on the line, for Washington. The fact that the Cougars weren't given much of a chance in that game, and they played them tough, played them as probably as, of any, other than Michigan, probably played them as tough as anyone played them, last year. And then, the guts to call that, the play that they ended up calling there on fourth down, despite massive holding on that play. But yeah, it was great theater. And I think that it will continue. And I think initially when the news came out, I didn't want it to continue. I know that. And I think it's okay to change your opinion. I think that's, feelings are hurt. You're angry at what the situation was. But I think as you take time and you step back, right, and you let kind of your emotions cool down a little bit, I think you realize that, it is important. I think the game now takes a different tone to it and a different feeling, and that may be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it always did have kind of a rivalry that had some bitterness to it, but it did cross the line. I think as years go on, it's going to start to get a little bit more hatred involved in it, and maybe that's a good thing. But we do see, right, Chris, a lot of rivalries of teams that don't play in the same conference anymore. So it's not unheard of. West Virginia, Pitt, right? That's a big one. Colorado State, Colorado, Utah and BYU for a while when they were not in the conference together. So I think it can work. I hope it gets back. I know it's going to get back on campuses starting next year, and then we'll just see when it's going to be played. I don't know what the date is. I don't think they've established that yet. I don't think it will be at the end of the season anymore. It probably will be in the beginning of the year, and it's probably just something we're going to have to get used to.
I'm probably going to go way deeper than you want here in regards to your thoughts. And I remember these thoughts when, when UW was moving and Wazoo was staying, and they were talking about the rivalry. And I still remember, we were talking about it on King 5, and we had a lot of comments from Coug fans saying the same thing you were saying. I wish this thing would just be over. I don't want to play them. They don't deserve to play us. And this is where I'm getting deep a little bit, maybe more than I should here. But, during my brother's service, my brother that passed away, I remember saying the line, you die once, and then you die when people stop talking about you. And that's where I continue to carry on his name. And I hate to even compare somebody's life to an Apple Cup. But with that in mind, if you take away the rivalry and nobody starts talking about the Cougs and the Huskies, then basically that rivalry just kind of dies out in the history. I mean, the great history of these two rivalries and all the great battles, from the Snow Bowl to the Toilet Bowl to the UW band coming over and getting that accident, and the Wazoo band playing their fight song. I mean, so many great, Colin Henderson, with the greatest quarterback rating in Apple Cup history, the Puyallup Viking that's thrown a couple touchdowns. There's just so much good history. And I didn't want that history to die out, because even though we would hear the stories, basically, I mean, it's sad, Puck. You remember that great rivalry, the in-state rivalry, Western and Central Washington? Right. Nobody talks about that anymore. And that was a fun battle between those two schools. But Western, got rid of their football program, and nobody mentions it anymore. And I was worried that a year may pass and be fine, 2 years pass and 3 years. And if you just get rid of that, then nobody would ever talk about it. And this is a fun rivalry. These are two schools recruiting after the same kids. I mean, everybody in the state of Washington has a chance, hopefully, to play for Wazoo or UW. And you got Javinsky Schlendenbaker from Squalicum. This is a kid probably wanted to go to UW, goes to Wazoo. He's going to have a chance to score a touchdown against the Huskies tomorrow. So there's just too many good storylines, and I wanted those. As a storyteller, I wanted that to continue, and I'm glad it is right now. And I'm glad to see the Pac-12 is building up again. It's going to become a strong conference. They're going to add more strength to that conference. So I think things are looking good for the Cougs. And you know what? Like you said, I don't think you have to be in the same conference to have a great rivalry.
No, and you know what? As it evolves, and I think everybody knows, I mean, like this new revamped Pac-12, it's not the same Pac-12. Everybody knows that. Is it just a glorified version of what the Mountain West is? I mean, I understand how people say that. I mean, you're taking the better teams from that conference and trying to create your own. I think what I like is at least you talked about your brother, with Brian, is that if we stop talking about the Pac-10, Pac-12, it goes away. And no one remembers it. And I know that this version of it, it's not like the version of it, with the Don James and all the great USC teams and all of that. But what it does is it keeps that name still alive, and it keeps that logo still present. And you know what we get back? We get Pac-12 after dark back. It's a little things like that I think people have grown accustomed to. And I don't know. Chris, in 2, 3, well, actually it's in 2 years, but in 4 years, 5 years, who knows what college football is going to be? I don't know. Maybe those teams that left, they come back and they do, and whatever college football looks like in 6, 7, 10 years, it's back to, the regional side of things where the West Coast teams are all playing in the same conference again. So I just think there's a lot of movement. I'm glad they've kept the name alive. And it's going to be different. And yeah, I think my opinion initially was I didn't want to play the game anymore. I'm not still happy that it's played over there or it's played here. I mean, the Cougs did get screwed on this, and it should be in Pullman. And so that I think it's okay to still be upset and bothered by that. I don't ever want to see it played there again. I don't want to see it on a neutral side. It's stupid. College games need to be played on college campuses. Period. It's like when Washington would play Gonzaga and they played at Key Arena. Dumb. Play it in Spokane. Play it at Heck Ed. I don't want to see neutral site games. And so it's going to go back to that. That's good. But you got to get now more familiar with it being played, early in the season. That's going to take some adjustment, but I think we'll get used to it pretty quickly.
I can't wait. It's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be, like you said, it's good theater. The interesting thing, Puck, I spoke at the Tacoma Athletic Commission yesterday, average age maybe 70, 80. And the biggest issue.
I was going to comment on some of the pictures I thought I saw. What would a 78-ish?
78-ish, yeah. But the biggest issue, and this is where some of the older audience is having trouble with change. I don't know how many questions I got asked. This is Chris. How can I watch the Apple Cup? And there's a lot of Husky fans right now struggling with watching this team. And we saw during the Olympics, streaming went really well for NBC and Peacock, and they got a lot of money off that, and a lot of people jumped on the streaming, but to have to purchase NBC Peacock to watch the Apple Cup, I know there's an older crowd out there that's struggling with this one. So,
including an older lady,
it's interesting.
Including an older woman that is about 4'9", 4'10", and I don't understand what the game is. From Paulsbo, who has called and texted me a million times, asking me where the game is. I'm like, it's on Peacock. Well, I think I have Peacock. I said, you don't have it. It's not on your. I looked on my Xfinity. It's right there. It says Peacock. I go, that's not the streaming. Just trust me. You've got to sign up for the stream. Well, that doesn't make any sense. And in fact, I'm not going to watch the game then. Like, okay. Good Lord.
That's going on in a lot of homes right now.
I bet it is.
Honest with you.
I bet it is.
Tomorrow morning, everybody's going to be flipping on. Peacock. Yeah. Where are you, Peacock?
Where is Peacock? Yes, people are going to have to figure out where Peacock is coming up tomorrow. What is the King 5? This is a good one. The King 5 big game of the week. You got a juicy one, sir.
Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to week 1. We were at the Spaghetti Bowl, which this is, I always tell people, Like, when I hear these stories, the heydays of high school are over. No, then you weren't at the Capital Olympia game week 1 where they had 6,000 to 7,000 people at that game. And these were two schools that
Chris has lost.
won a state title, but it was pretty cool to see. Absolutely incredible. And then this week, we've got a dandy. This week, we have Lake Stevens, who has won 2 state titles in a row. Their head coach is a guy by the name of Tom Try, who has just built a dynasty at Lake Stevens. I mentioned 2 state titles in a row, but they placed second twice. They've been basically, in the top 8 for the last decade. And he's produced a lot of kids that have gone on to play in college. It's just a fun atmosphere. You were up there last year with me at Lake Stevens. And this week, this is what I love. This is always what I wanted after the state championships in high school in basketball and football. I wanted the 3A and 4A winners to play each other and the 1A and 2A winners. Well, this Friday, they will be taking on the 3A state champions, the Bellevue Wolverines that beat Yelm last year at Husky Stadium. Another well-coached team, Michael Knipe. I got to double-check my pronunciation on that. Played for the Huskies, took over Bellevue. Him and his brother have done a phenomenal job there, just building up that program back. And he's a great coach. That's all I can say. Michael does a really good job with Bellevue. So it's going to be a good battle. 4A versus 3A, the 2 champs facing off. So we'll see. It's going to be fun.
There is an outfit. I just stumbled upon these guys. Have you heard of this outfit that I think is broadcasting the games at the Snohomish Sports? You heard of these guys?
They have done some. I remember they did some last year, Puck. I think they had even somebody on the field doing sideline reporting. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Well, and you're right about. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that Lake Stevens crowd that we were up there last year is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, what he's done is he's built a program where, you know what, you have to be good to make this team, but everybody wants to play for Lake Stevens football, and they have depth. They have, the numbers they get up there are absolutely amazing. This is a high school. Jason has done an awesome job as the athletic director. You see what they've done in other sports like wrestling. They've been a dynasty for decades as well. And it's just a fun community, and it's where everybody's going to be on a Friday night. And that's why I gave a shout out to Capital Olympia, because high school sports is not dead. It's alive and well, and it's cool to see these programs. And we need to continue to shine a light on these programs because we see so much crap on the TV every week about kids doing this and kids doing that. And there's actually a lot of kids out there doing some good things. So it's pretty cool.
All right, we'll be tuning in tonight there to King 5. Chris Egan joins us every Friday, the first live edition here with Chris. It's all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. They've got great locations all across the South Sound, Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. One of their 3 food trucks right now for catering, birthday parties, graduations, and corporate events. You can find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, fatzachspizza.com. That QR code, you scan that's going to take you right to fatzachspizza.com. All right, you enjoy your weekend. We'll talk next.
Hey, you want me to give you real
Friday.
Quickly? Give me 2 names, Puckett, on the Cougar offense, and we'll give you a Keith Jackson rollout here for this show here.
Give me a John Mateer and a Wayshawn Parker.
Okay, here we go. Whoa, Nelly, welcome everybody to Lumen Field. It's the fourth quarter, 20 seconds ticking down. The Cougars trail the mighty Huskies by 3 points. There it's 3rd down and 8 for the Cougars. Jake Dicker looks to his clipboard, looks to the stage. Jason Puckett is passed out next to Jim Moore with a popcorn bag. Johnny Mateer calls the signals. Mateer drops back. Mateer looking. He's looking. Mateer fires. Way shot! Touchdown! Whoa, Nelly! Cougars win!
It's like he's never left us, sir. You're the best.
There's 10 seconds left. Now at the quarterback for the Huskies, it's Billy Joe Hobart. No, he's not from Texas. He's from Poola, Washington. Hobart looks back. He fires deep, and that's Dane Looker with the catch. Touchdown, Huskies. Puckett, good to see you, my friend.
Called back because he's suspended by the NCAA for taking a transit.
Oh, he was moving that ball faster than a Camaro going down I-5.
You're the best, Egan. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, buddy.
Oh, there he is. It's already drinking time there for Chris Egan. Again, Chris Egan, every single Friday, he joins us here on the program, and around 11 o'clock or so. And again, big thanks there to Fat Zach's Pizza for sponsoring Chris Egan every single week. All right, we got to get to it. We're going to wrap up the show, the Friday edition. We're in the books 1 week in of the Daily Puck Drop being live. We end every single show with Hey, What the Puck? It's brought to you by Restoration One there of North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online. They're at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, this is, I think everyone has seen this. This is by far the best, and I mean the best, commercial that we have right now that is going on, and that is the Dan Campbell Applebee's commercial.
Welcome to Applebee's. Can I interest you in America's favorite boneless wings for just 50 cents each?
I'll have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
I'll have the 50-cent boneless wings.
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
The best. I can't stop watching or laughing at it. The Dan Campbell commercial. They'll never see it coming. And he's perfect at it. Just putting it up there. It's a great commercial. And I don't leave every time it comes on, and they play it a lot. Every time that thing comes on, I can't stop watching. God, I love Dan Campbell. Doesn't everyone love Dan Campbell? I mean, there's probably a few of you out there that doesn't, but I do. I love him to death. That's Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Big thanks to Trent and the crew there. All right, that is it. We made it week 1 of the Daily Puck Drop going live. Thank you, everyone that is tuned in, whether you were watching on X or on YouTube. Appreciate it. I think for the most part, knock on wood, it went pretty damn smooth. Monday, we should have the PuckSports app up and running. We were just going through some final fixes and bugs on it, but I think it's all set. The second that is finalized, probably going to be later today or this weekend, that will be available on Monday. So what does that mean? I know that you love to watch this show, but now you'll be able to just to stream it on your phone, just like any other live radio station app that you have been listening for years. You'll be able to listen to us. You're in your car and you're like, well, I can't watch on YouTube or Twitter. You'll be able to just listen to it on the PuckSports app, which again should be coming out on Monday. It's great. It's going to be awesome. You'll be able to sit there and scroll and look at other things just like any other app, but it will be available. And as we go live every single day there at 10 a.m. Real quick, Apple Cup stuff. That's all up there. That's always just exclusive to the podcast features and platforms. Our Puck the Huskies podcast brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. Big thanks to Georgetown Brewery, Georgetown Beer, brewery.com with Elise Woodward and Jordan Reffett. That's available right now on all platforms, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So is our Old Crimson podcast, which is proudly brought to you by the Cougar Collective. Hey, Cougs, go donate today. Be like Jim Moore. He just signed up $18.90 a month to join the 1890 Club. You can also make a one-time donation. And Flat Stick Pub brings you that, in addition to the Cougs Corner podcast, which is with Jake Dickert this week. Next week, I think it's going to be Ben Arbuckle. But Jake Dickert, making 5 appearances throughout the football season, including this week, previewing the Apple Cup and kind of a call, plea to arms there for Dickert, trying to rally the Cougar fan base. So all of that is available. You want to get caught up on the very latest there with the Apple Cup. Big thanks to all the guests today. Of course, Jim Moore joins us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Troy Wins from TroyWins.com. Please go sign up. PuckSports.com. Hit the website. The Puck the Picker NFL Pigskin Pool is up. If you've got any problems with signing up, if I can't get in, just email me, puck@pucksports.com, and we'll try to fix any issues if there are any issues. But a grand prize package is going to be a trip for two to Las Vegas, Nevada, courtesy there of Troy Wins and TroyWins.com. You're going to stay at the Circa Hotel first week of March Madness. And again, I mean, come on. That's better than 10 grand. I'm going to tell you that right now. A trip to Vegas for the first round of March Madness, staying at the Circa, free hotel, free airfare, going to be taken out to a steak dinner at Barry's. Way better. All you got to do is pick against the spread every NFL game starting this Sunday. Best way to go is just pucksports.com and click the join now there on the pool. All right, and big thanks to Chris Egan he will join us every Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy all the football and all the betting. We'll talk to you on Monday. Go Cougs. Please go Cougs. We need a victory. Desperately. We'll talk to you on Monday. Hopefully I'm in a good mood. Until then, as always, promise to be better.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!